welcome back to my channel. So today is the first day of our plan with me in our Leuchtturm daily A6 planner. We're also going to be doing a little bit of planning inside the Hemlock and Oak. I did film a plan with me for the Hemlock and Oak, however it was really boring because I didn't do anything spectacular. So what I'm going to do instead for this week, and then we'll try this again next week, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to walk you through what I did already to the Hemlock and Oak, and then from there we're going to add in some things as we are now starting to get back into our normal routines once again. So let's get started, you guys. Happy New Year, by the way, because I'm filming this on January the 1st. So happy New Year to all of you. Hopefully I can get this edited and uploaded today as well. If it's not, then it will definitely go live tomorrow, but let's hope for today. So let's go ahead and look over what we got. So we got our A6, we got our Leuchtturm daily planner that we will be visiting today. And then we have our Hemlock and Oak, our infamous pencil pouch getting us started. We have some stickers, definitely going to use some stickers for this week. I wanted to show you guys these stickies because I didn't get to show them to you in the last video that I filmed. This is what I've been adding, or what I had added in between all of the weeks. Or the start of every week in the Hemlock and Oak daily planner. So they're just literal sticky notes, and there's about 50 sheets, and these were included for free, and they're actually pretty good. So I might consider repurchasing these if I do decide to go with the Hemlock and Oak again. I also have some other like odd ends. You've seen these used heavily throughout the Moleskine 18-month daily planner. You've seen me use these before. I have an undated calendar. They're supposed to be sticky notes, but I just print them on regular computer paper. So I have a calendar, I have a couple of calendars, a couple of monthly habit trackers, some weekly routines, and then some weekly sheets. See, I had already intended to do this with my planners, so I wasn't anticipating getting this at all. I had already printed out a bunch of these like little weeklies to be like snapshots that I could tape into my daily, but then they included this, and this is so much more space than this. I can get a lot of stuff on this. So I don't know, I just keep these handy. But I have them here. I have actually a lot of these, but I have a couple here that I'm going to play around. So you're going to see my thought process between like what I'm adding and what I'm not adding and so forth. This might be a really long video. Grab something to drink, grab your new planners, take a chill pill with me, and let's sit down and get started for this new year. So like I said, I'm using the Hemlock and Oak. This is a planner that I want to really like utilize from every aspect of it, from like adding like a little bullet key. I definitely want to add a bullet key here, which is why I have like some of these. Where are they? I have like some of these like sticky note. These are from, I think, Playing with B. Yep, Playing with B. And I have intentions of taping this here and then writing like a small bullet key, so that way I have a visual of like all my little symbols. I don't need a bullet key, but in the event that I ever forget, which I doubt that I will, but in the event, I want to have a visual. So yeah, and plus I'm really excited about this planner. I think I mentioned that to you guys, that I'm really excited about this planner because I haven't used a bullet journal quite like this before. So I'm really excited. I've already went ahead and filled out my monthly. Now I was doing this in the Plan With Me video that I was filming for this. However, like I said, when I rewatched it back, it was kind of boring to me, and I was just like, no, we're gonna do this again. So yeah, I've already filled in some things. Now what I'm considering to do, thought process, what I'm considering to do is, we are in the 90-day phase for my husband to return from deployment. So he should be estimated to come back within 3 months. And so whenever that is, I can't even put a date on it, But whenever that is, I want to count down 90 days. I am on the crunch for my husband to come back. So I'm thinking about maybe adding, oh, that's not it. Sorry. I'm thinking about maybe filling in this calendar and then adding it here, and then that way crossing it off and then tallying up how many days left. I don't know if that's what I want to do. I'm also working on health and wellness. You guys know, I think I've touched base on this a little bit, that I was told that I was pre-diabetic, and you guys know I had gestational diabetes in my pregnancy. So you guys know I'm working on health and wellness. This is a constant goal. This is a goal that I've been working on for months, weeks, days. It's just a very hard goal to stay committed and focused on, because life takes its course, and yeah, you know, life happens. But I was also thinking about maybe adding a monthly habit tracker here where I can just track like workouts. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with this. I'm going to hold off for just a second, and then yeah, so this is what I've been doing in my Hemlock and Oak. Now, I am a functional planner, and just because I don't have a bunch of stickers, or just because you use a bunch of stickers, or if you use a bunch of stickers, correct term, doesn't mean that your system isn't functional. It just means that you plan in a very creative way and it works for you. I don't like to use a lot of stickers when I'm functionally planning. A little bit is okay for me, but primarily I just want to see what's written, what needs to be done. So my planning will look very pen to paper and kind of boring for the most part, but it works for me, and it has worked for me for several months and years. So primarily this is what I'm doing. This is what I have. These are all of my intentions, my goals for each day. So I chose daily planners this year for the simple fact that I want to hone in on accomplishing certain tasks, certain goals for each day, versus how I was doing for the past year, which was weekly. So yeah, I have chosen, keyword chosen, daily planners for this year. Now, let's focus on what I've done. So I've written out my general schedule. So I follow a routine. I have a routine for my son and I. So I start my day pretty early. And so I chose a planner that would give me a schedule as well. So my schedule usually starts about 5. What I want to do is start it a little bit earlier, so like 4:30, and then till about 7 have my, my cutoff for my own time of the morning, and then run into my son's routines. It's early, but I feel like that's the only time that I can allot myself to get a lot more stuff done for myself, because at nighttime I'm pretty exhausted and tired and don't really have the energy to do a lot of stuff. And also, if I want to film more for YouTube, I can do so in the morning because it's quiet. There's not really anyone up. There's not, background noise. So I can do that for you guys via mornings. So my intentions are to focus on my routines, which I think is a lot of people's intentions starting January, but really focus on my routines and habits. I haven't changed my habits or routines. Really, I'm just getting back on track with my routines and habits, because during the holiday week, I kind of just, slacked off because it's the holiday, you're going to eat holiday food, you're going to do holiday activities. And so you're really not focused on things that you need to be doing. You know what I mean? You're kind of taking a much needed break. So I've written out my schedule. Now this schedule looks chaotic because it looks like there's something for every hour, but technically speaking, if you've kept up with my channel and my routines and my own stuff, then you would already know that I've always had a somewhat busy schedule as a stay-at-home mom. I wake up early. I do my own routine. My son has a routine. He has a breakfast routine, a lunch, afternoon routine. Then we have, like our snack routine. We have routines for everything. And I think routines really work for me. And the best way to keep track of your routines, and also to keep my son very strict on his schedule. He has appointments and things in his life that require us to be on a schedule. So having like a daily schedule where we can follow and really keep track of everything is really essential for us. So I chose to write out every little detail of our day via time. So this is what I'm doing. I'm using this planner as it's intended for, which is the schedule and your today section, which can be broken down into your to-do list. So I've done like my to-do list here, and sometimes it's a running to-do list. And then at the bottom, if there's any space left, I can use that space for notes or journaling. Nothing really took place on the 31st of December. Like I said, I did my usual routines. I did do some cooking for my son. I cooked some holiday stuff for my son and baked cookies for him. And then I journaled about it because it's the end of the year and nothing really special happened that needed to be noted. However, we're starting this year off getting back into our usual life, and so this is how it's looking now. I put in some things that are taking place for the week, and like I said, I never know what's really happening for my week until I get to that Sunday, Monday, maybe Tuesday. Really, I know everything that's probably gonna happen up until Friday at least. So I already knew that there's some things happening for this week, so I jotted those down. I just got some more information today. Today is Monday. Like I said, this is usually when stuff starts filtering in. So I will go ahead and add that note in here. Our appointments for speech therapy start back this Thursday. So as time goes on, you'll notice that this will relatively fill up really quick. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start filling in some of that stuff. Now, I wanted to give you a look at what a day that isn't really planned out, but somewhat kind of planned out. So this is Tuesday, and Tuesday I have started to put in like my routines and stuff. However, there's a slight flaw in this schedule now because my son is not with me. So usually here where there would be like a lot of stuff pertaining to like my son's schedule and things like that, like his routine, his 2-hour window to get dressed and breakfast and stuff, that's like taken away because he's at grandma. So I have open space for Tuesday. And what I like about a schedule like this is that I can see time clearly this way, because I know what kind of time I have versus, you know, just running through the day and then checking the clock and like, oh, it's 3 o'clock, and noticing that I've missed all of this time because I was doing something else that probably didn't need to be done at that very moment anyway. So the daily schedule is going to be a wonderful addition to my planning system. I used to use it very, very much like a few years ago, especially when I was living in Germany. I used it a lot. I've kind of gotten away from it, but I'm bringing that back because I realized that as a busy stay-at-home mom, and especially when my husband is deployed, I need somewhat of an idea of where my time is going, because at the end of the day, I feel exhausted. During the weeks, I'm exhausted, and sometimes I feel like there's not enough hours in a day to get what I need to get done. So I need to kind of see where, you know, my time is going. So that's why I've incorporated this daily schedule, this daily planner back into my system. Primarily speaking, that's why I chose daily planners, for the sake of this, is to see where my time is going. So yes, all of that explanation, which I felt like is much needed, because I want you to understand where my planning system is, you know, kind of evolving into in this current phase of my life. So yeah, let's go ahead and add an appointment. So my mom has an appointment coming up this Wednesday that I will be taking her to. So what I'm gonna do is, this the book that has, hold on, I want to make sure, nope, this isn't the one. So since I will be taking her to that appointment, and because I have, you know, my own life and own things that are popping up, I wanna note take that I am taking her to that appointment. I think it's this book let me put these other books down. Hopefully rather, my camera is not shaking too bad because I kind of taped or tied it down so that it wouldn't shake so much. I'm gonna invest in something new for my planning, but for the time being, this is what we have. So I'm gonna use these little dot stickers. I always try to find books, sticker books that have these because I don't know, I just find them more convenient than just buying a roll. Although it probably would be cost effective if I bought the roll because I use them so much. I did buy dot markers for that reason, but the dot markers kind of bled through everything, so it kind of defeated the purpose. So like I said, my mom has an appointment here, so I'm gonna add that in. And I wanna make sure that you guys can see me very clearly, okay? All right, so I've added that appointment in there for the weekly part. And then like I said, what I want to do is add some of these things that I pulled out into like my monthly. So also what I'm going to do is, I think I have it in here. Let me double check. I'm usually way more prepared. Here we go. So I'm gonna add this in here as well, but I'm gonna add it on the day that the appointment is. And I'm gonna do that so that when I go to plan that day, I don't miss that there is an appointment that day. So in the event that I don't actually look at this weekly section, it'll still be very visual here on the actual day. So I'm gonna tape this down, but I'm gonna tape it down here. And usually I wouldn't do this because sometimes, like I said, I can use this bottom section for, you know, journaling or whatever, but it's okay because I'm not trying to make it a journal in the first place. And if you know me, then you know I use whatever space is allotted on the page to basically take notes. Like if you've seen my happy planner, if you've seen any of the things that I've used over the years, you guys know that I just kind of plan on a whim and put things where things make sense. So I'm just going to add a little bit of tape. Oops, I'll pick that up. And I'm going to tape this down. That way, now my mother's appointment will be here. And don't worry, I'll fill it out. I'm going to grab this tape off the floor. Give me 1 second. Okay, so what I probably want to do is do this in a different colored pen. I want to do that because this planner is already primarily black and white, and I just want it to stand out a little bit more than what it's looking like right now. And also to know, I know that I said we're planning in the Leuchtturm, and we are, but I want to give you the basis. Don't know where that came from. I want to give you the basis of how these two are going to work together for me. So before we can plan in that, we have to plan it in our main planner. Mind you, this was one that was going to take the place of my happy planner. And since I chose to keep my happy planner in the lineup, I want to really see if this can really take the place of my happy planner. If this can, then I would kind of phase my happy planner out and just say, okay, you've ran it your course, I'm moving on now. If this can do that, then I will phase it out completely. But as of right now, I want to do my trial run to see if can this really be my main planner, and then the Leuchtturm be my second main. So like I said, I'm going to write my mom's appointment in a different color just so it stands out. So this is 01, 03, 24. Is anyone mistakenly writing 2023? I almost did a few times. And the time is 12 p.m. And this is at okay, so I've written my little note, which lets me know what I need to do on my end, and then the time, who the appointment's for, and where the appointment is at. So that's my little note there that I will kind of reference beforehand. And if you've paid attention to how I use the Happy Planner, usually when I had appointments, what I would do is write a small red check mark just to say that the appointment is complete. I don't know if I really like, can this come off easily? I don't know if I really like it because it's kind of hard to read, so I'm going to redo it. Hopefully not tear this planner. Oh man, I think the extras are in a box. So what I'm going to do is, oh, that came off pretty clean. What I'm going to do is go ahead and grab another one, copy this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and grabbed another one, refilled it out, and then what I can do now is just tape it back in, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing that we'll be doing in this video, which is planning in our Leuchtturm. So I know you guys were really excited about me sharing the Hemlock, and I played around with it yesterday after I got off from filming, and also before I got to drinking and stuff and hanging out. But anyway, I played around with it for a little bit, and yeah, I'm just not, I already knew anyway, but I'm really just not feeling it. And so I'm sorry to everyone who was really looking forward to me using it. I'm just not. I'm not in the Hemlock lifestyle. Before we move on though, I'm gonna trash this before I get it stuck to something. Before we move on though, I've decided that I'm going to use a calendar to basically mark off, and I'm going to use my dot markers to basically mark off that the countdown for my husband to come home. So I'm going to do this in black ink. So let's see, January, and this is the year. Oh my goodness, this pen right here, this one, I like these pens because they're 0.35s. However, sometimes they, I don't know, they like dry out at the tip, and then you have to like write on something for them to come back like that. Okay, so 2024. And then what I'm going to do, why am I not liking any of these? I think it's because my pen, like if I might change my pen, who knows. I really like the slimmer pen, like the smaller nib, because it really works, but who knows. January 24. Okay, that looks better. And then the first, there are 31 days in January. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31. And then what I'm going to do is write how many days left. And then at the bottom here, I'm just going to say how many days left. And then total. So at the end of this, what I'll do is, so I'm going to write, this is irrelevant for anyone who is not looking to count down, but I am looking to count down. So what I'm going to do is add to my calendar, this small calendar, which I'm going to use as a general like countdown. So it's going to be the time frame is 90 days, and then I have this window. I'm going to count down, and then at the end of the month I'm going to total up how many days left. So this will go into my bullet journal. And I think my husband watches my videos. So if you are watching, honey, hi, miss you. Okay, so all right, so that's a good spot right there. It kind of goes into these two boxes, 27th and 28th. So I just kind of pushed it down so that it's not, you know, directly on. And then what I mean by like tacking off the days is, so I'm going to take, this is also one that I didn't like. I'm going to take my dot marker or a dot marker and just tally off the first, because today is the first. And yeah. So since I'm kind of going with a gold theme, I do have like the shimmer markers. However, they take a while to dry, and I don't have a while for that right now. So I'm just going to use this red. So basically, that's all that I'm going to do. I want to see if that bled through. Ooh, and it did. So, okay, so if I'm going to do this, I have to remember to be kind of careful with how I dab. So if I'm going to use like that, like I said, these markers kind of bleed through everything. They're the Ohuhu dual tip dot pens. Like you have the finer tip here, and then you have the dot tip here. They bleed through everything. This is really thick paper. I don't really remember what the thickness is. I did save like the little info card about the book, but I know it's really thick paper. So yeah, it didn't necessarily bleed through the paper itself, but it definitely bled from this smaller calendar, which is just printed on regular like printer paper anyway. So yes, you guys, so that is my monthly. That's how it's looking thus far. That's what we did. That's what we added. And that's what we are going to transfer over into our Leuchtturm. So let's move this over. And let's move this into frame. So like I said, I have intentions on basically using just these two planners because, like I said, I really like consistency with my planners now. Like I've been using I'm just looking for something. I've been using like the Happy Planner for the last 6 months, and I've really liked the consistency that I've been doing with that. And so this plan with me may not be like your typical plan with me where people are laying down stickers and did I put this in here? I didn't really mean to. It may not be like your typical plan with me, like I said, where people are laying down stickers and stuff, and talking about like life experiences. I don't know. I'm just not built that way to do that kind of thing, but I wanted this plan with me to be as realistic as if I wasn't talking to a camera and talking to all of you. I wanted it to be as realistic as possible as to what I would actually do if I was just sitting here planning. So, and how my thought process is and how I make all of this stuff come to life, basically. I'm dropping stuff. My desk is so much smaller. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Okay. So I didn't pause the camera. I just kind of stood up. So I want to make it as real life as possible. So I have a bookmark here to mark the first week. We're actually going to pull this out so that we can kind of set this up, cracking it open for the first time. It's really nice. I chose really nice planners this year and I'm excited about them. I'm glad that I chose this first before choosing the Leuchtturm because I don't really care for the Leuchtturm. And as you can see, my theme here is really pretty. So yes, I'm so excited for my planner system this year. I just think that everything I chose, I thought deeply about, and I think it'll really work. I don't know why I keep trying to make the Midori products work for me. They don't work. Like, they just don't. I don't know. So I'm going to switch my pen too because these pens take a while to dry. And although they are great for filling in smaller spaces, they suck at actually drying on paper like this. So I'm going to switch to a zebra fountain pen, which is this. This one goes to my Hemlock and Oak. And actually, I need to change the pen that I'm using for the Hemlock and Oak. Maybe I'll get microns? I don't know. So this is a tracker, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. What I'm probably going to do is zoom you guys in so you can see a little bit clearer. So let's see. Oops. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see what's going on a lot better. And I want to keep this kind of close. Okay. All right, so filling out our trackers for the first part of the year. So medications. And I don't know, am I going to do X's? I'm going to do X's. So medications. I did my AM routines. I'm doing my own PM routines, and I didn't log any food. As you can probably see, my routines are very simple. They're very simple. I'm going to check to see if that dried. It didn't. It didn't dry. So I don't know. It looked like it's taking a second to dry, but that's why I have these sheets here, is to basically help with the dry time, because it's taking forever. Okay, this is our first week. I've got to find a pen that doesn't do this. Maybe I can use I really wanted to use fountain pen. I think I said a while back that I was going to use fountain pen for the Midori in this, because I think using regular ballpoint pen had some kind of effect on like the Midori, like it transferring. I don't know what happened with that. So here we are. I'm gonna switch pens yet again. So FYI, the Leuchtturm does take ink, like fountain pen ink, really well. Even though I'm using cheap fountain pens, I'm not using anything fancy, it does take fountain pen really well. However, it just, like, the dry time is gonna be very challenging, especially for like fast planning. It did dry. I don't know, I kind of want to just try it out and see before giving up on it completely. But for my dividing line, we're definitely going to use this pen. So actually, this is how I plan in real life when I'm like by myself just thinking about things. So new planners calls for new trials. So I'm gonna make a dividing line. And if you've watched my plan with me, then you know that I always divide the weekdays for the simple fact that one side is the appointment and then one side is just for like general reminders and to-dos. So like I said, we are going to take from this weekly here and we're going to transfer it over into this week. Okay, so same thing, I'm going to use the same color stickers. I might have a problem with this not laying flat, but then again, it is like a book bound and it is a hard bound, so maybe we can get it to train itself to lay flat. So I'm gonna use green for speech therapy appointments. Oops, I am shaking the camera. First of all, I don't have a lot of space on this desk and I have a lot of things. This is not the same desk that I have back in, or that I had back in Altus. This is like one of those fold out tables and I'm just making it work. So bear with me. Okay, so Wednesday, my mom has an appointment. So what we're doing is filling it in, noting that. I also didn't share with you guys, but I'll share with you here. In the back of my Hemlock and Oak, I got these icon stickers from what is the name? Slightest. They're like gold foiled like stickers. Like they have 2 different fonts on each sheet, so you have cursive and print. And it just like, it's little things, odds and ends, workouts, hustle, reminders, meal plan, groceries, laundry, housework. And then you have like all these infamous little icons right here. They are glossy, so they're not like the these little icons that I've been using for everything, which are from Happy Planner. They are like foiled, but I'm thinking to use them in the Hemlock and Oak and maybe across this planner too, just depending on how I feel. I really like them though. I don't know if you can see them too well, but I really do like them. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit these off to the side for the time being. Oops. And then I'll put those back into the back in a second. So like I said, I know that I know that Sunday is a day where car payments are due. Tuesday I have to pick up Ashton, which is my son. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add in what we need to add in right now. Now, there was something that I pulled out that I wanted to put in. and that is this. So Happy New Year. I had thought about using this sticker in I had thought about using this sticker in the Hemlock and Oak. My goodness, why can't I get that out? But I actually think that I want to use it here. Okay, so all right, so January, and then let's go ahead and fill this out. So let's do a Happy New Year. And then what also I could do, see, that's still wet, maybe it'll dry fast. What also I can write in here is that I dropped my son off today, so I'm going to write that in here. Drop off Ashton to my mother-in-laws, and then visit mom's today. Okay, and then like I said, my mom has an appointment on Wednesday, so mom's appointment today at 12 p.m. and then speech therapy with Barb today at 5:30 p.m. Texas time. I always have to note that that's Texas time and not, you know, our time here. So Happy New Year, January. I think I'm gonna add like champagne glasses right here. I just have to find the sticker book that probably has it, but I think that's what I'm gonna do, is add like little champagne glasses like right there. Okay, so also let's see, Thursday I think is trash day. Trash day today. And then oh, Tuesday, I know what I have to do. It's kind of hard to write on this if it's not dry, so let me check. I think that dried. So Tuesday, pick up okay, so I'm gonna pick up my son from my mother-in-law's on Tuesday. Let's see, I'm gonna do like maybe a shopping list on this side of things we need, things we're running out of. So that's what's gonna go on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and add my like bill tracker, or not bill icon, money icon stickers like I do with basically everything. So that would be, oops, these stickers here. And I might add some, well, no, I'm not. I was gonna add trackers, and then I thought like, I already have trackers in this planner. The beauty of the Leuchtturm, so love that. Someone mentioned that we have the same planners this year, so I would love to know updates, how you're liking yours. Oh, wrong day. But yeah, like I said, I would love to know updates of how you're liking yours as you use it. and stuff, I would like to know, because this is a planner that most people do not talk about. You only hear about the Moleskine. So it's always interesting and exciting when someone is using something similar to you, because you can kind of piggyback off each other about how you feel about something, and it also keeps the conversation going. So we have a car payment, so $192, and this is car payment due. And then we have another one also coming out on the 7th, and that is my afterpay. Oops. Oh shit. Excuse my French, y'all. But that one did not want to come off. So afterpay. I see why people use tweezers, but I'm not in the game for that, so I'm winging it. And then this one is 11. And this is afterpay due today. Okay. So then up here, I'm going to do like a general shopping list. Usually I would use highlighter for this. And now that I think about it, maybe I can use a sticker. Let me see. Let me see what kind of icons I got anyway, because I didn't really look at these. I just kind of like, I don't know, pick this up. But I do know what I do need, and I'll go ahead and use it. So one of these days I've got to check my emails. So I'm going to note that here. Because like I said, Thursday our appointments start back, so Wednesday I need to check emails. I also think that I have a package coming this week, so check all emails today. And then like I said, I think I have a package coming soon, so I'm going to use a highlighter. Oof. Now I'm thinking like I don't want to use the highlighter because it's going to like look so tacky with this marker here. Happy January. Okay. Anyway, so let's do shopping list, and then what I can do is I could use my dot markers, but I kind of feel like it's going to bleed and like incredibly bad, so I'm just going to use this marker here. I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this video is going to be very long, so what I need is mouthwash, toothpaste, and gosh, every time I think about things that I need, deodorant and body wash. Trying to think, is there something else on this list of things that need to get purchased for this week? I think that's kind of it. If I have anything else, I'll just put it here on the side. But then some notes. So notes. I have a scent bird subscription coming this week. And I'm going to put a dot there Mom's appointment. Reminder. Okay, so I use the dashes as check boxes, and then I use a dot to note like specific notes. So I have a subscription I think is coming this week. And then I need to double check my appointment with nutrition, because I have an appointment with nutrition which isn't until the end of the month, but I haven't been seeing it in my chart, so I'm gonna check that. I also have to check my chart. So and as far as that goes, I think that is the only notes that I have. So technically what I have on my list is I have a small shopping list of mouthwash, toothpaste, deodorant. It's basically body care. I think I'm going to possibly get like groceries. I know what I need to add to this like shopping list. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this to the list. Protein shakes for my son. So protein shakes, and then fruit for a week. If you're picking up conversation, I'm sorry. I live in a household with my family, and my camera kind of picks up every little noise. So this is the week. The 1st through the 7th. Okay, so this is week 1. And primarily that's what my weekly looks like. So I basically went through and transferred everything from that little weekly sticky in my Hemlock and Oak and transferred it here, but I elaborated a little bit more in terms of like my shopping list of things that I need, a couple of notes, and then as the week continues to progress, I will come back and again add more to this, and this will start to really look like something versus how it's looking at the current moment. I didn't add any trackers to this because like I mentioned, I don't need any trackers. I have this tracker here that I can use, but this is primarily what everything looks like. I did talk about adding like some little champagne glasses like right here. So if I can find them really quick, I'll go ahead and add those. I mean, well, let's see. Okay, so I have like one little champagne glass, but it's like huge and isn't really going to fit at all. So, oops, and I keep bumping y'all. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't have anything then. I don't have anything to add there. Yeah, no, I don't have nothing to add there. Oh, well, I don't have anything, so I guess I could just leave it be, maybe. Yeah, I don't even have like a star or something. So what I'm looking through, I was gifted this a couple of years ago, so I'm just looking through this to see like what all icons I have, and I don't really have anything in here that I could use currently. Yeah, like all these icons, all of these things are things that I've already like used. I mean, I could use this YouTube sticker and just say like film day. That'll be cute. Let's use this. Ooh, it's on really nice paper too. So let's use this and say YouTube. Oh, crap. I'm the worst. Maybe we can just pull it up. Can we pull it up? Will it pull up nice? That's the question. Because if I rip this, I'll be like... Then I'll have to find something else to like lay here. If we don't pull up nice. Oh, it looks like it's gonna have sticky stuff. Gosh. Should have thought about it before laying it down. Okay, well let me pause the camera and then I'll take it off and I'll come right back. Alright, so I was able to pull it off pretty clean. It feels like a little residue, but not really. So what I can do is to kind of like cover up, and mind you, I still have this like, here, let me put it down first. Okay. I still have that sticker in my hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like a box. Like if I can find a box to add there, then it'll work out. So let's see what we have in our, I feel like I can't find anything. So all this junk is in there. Let's see, I'm shuffling through. I feel like nothing is easy to find in here. Okay, I don't have any. What I'm noticing is I don't have any. So, new plan. Oh boy. New plan. Alright, I won't take up your time looking because I'm not finding what I'm looking for. So basically what I'll do is I'll find a box sticker and then we'll move on from there. Maybe there's one in here that I can use. Let's see what we got. We have purple. Boy, jeez, we don't see, gosh, I don't see like any of the smaller boxes. And I was looking at reviews for this sticker book and why it wasn't like liked a whole lot. I actually really like this sticker book. There are some pointless stickers in here, but as far as the boxes go, I like the boxes. I feel like the boxes are pretty useful in like just making certain things pop. I also feel like the monthly trackers make things pop. Okay, there's a black and white one. We'll go with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this here because there was some sticky stuff. So we'll lay that down and then we'll lay this on top like that, okay? And then we'll fill in film day. Ooh, y'all, do not leave this on there. This bled through so bad. I can like see it frayed out. But it's a film day, so I'm gonna say film day. I'm just gonna leave it because if I touch it, I feel like I'll jack it up. And that's the only box sticker that I was able to find. Okay, so our weekly here is done. I'm gonna check the camera or the time. Oh my God, we've been doing this for an hour, y'all. I'm gonna have to cut this video, chop it up, chop and screw. Okay, so basically this is what our week looks like. I've got a whole mess going on here. A big mess, but my mess nonetheless, right? So this is what our week looks like. Now, I'm going to do a separate video for the daily Leuchtturm because I feel like I just took up a whole hour of y'all time. So if you stayed this long, I thank you. So this is what our week looks like in the Leuchtturm. This is what our week looks like in the Hemlock and Oak. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you enjoy these longer plan with me, so you would like me to speed them up. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.